My name's Janine Driver. I'm the Celebrity Lie Detector. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on Facebook Live. For those of you watching Facebook, thanks for being here. And for those of you over on YouTube, keep watching because I've got a couple more parts coming up. This is series number 5. My name is Janine Driver. I'm the Celebrity Lie Detector. 2 young California sisters found in the woods. Is this a hoax or no hoax? Hoax or no hoax? Let's find out. First of all, I'm so glad they're alive. Thank you, God. All right, missing girls found after 44 hours, lost in the woods. Unbelievable. This is amazing. These 2 young sisters were lost in the woods, and they were so worried. The parents, as you might imagine, were terrified. The sisters were ages 8 and 5. 8 and 5. And evidently they had wilderness training, which may have helped the sisters. The older sister comforted the younger one. She said that she stayed up all night, or for the most part, she said, I took first watch at night. They had a raincoat, and they each put one hand inside the raincoat and hid underneath the bush with the raincoat. And I think it's bobcats that are out here. So people are really concerned because in the woods up there, in this part of the hills of California, the woods of California, they have these bobcats. So it's incredible that 44 hours lost in the woods. Unbelievable. 8 years old and 5 years old. Now, people asked me this week, Janine, can you weigh in? I feel like it might be a scam, they said to me. Is it a scam? Did the parents put them up to it? Are they abused kids? Is there more to the story here? First of all, there's always more to the story. Let's hear from the family and the kids themselves.
I just wanted a little more adventure, but I said to go a little farther.
On their own, the girls got lost quickly in the cold and rain.
A little scared. My sister cried the whole night, so I told her to think happy thoughts of our family, and I kept watch for us the night.
Fending for themselves in these tough and rugged redwoods, the girls drank drops of water off huckleberry leaves, even trying to start a fire to get warm.
We go on camping a lot each summer. I knew how to start a fire because I watched a lot of Tropical Paradise.
After 44 hours, volunteers finally found the girls by following their tracks.
There are these purple rain boots, and I was like, oh my gosh.
All right. What do you think? Let's go back to the very beginning. Maybe you saw what I saw. Let's watch the mother. Did you catch the words the mother mouths when her youngest daughter here in this video talks about she just wanted a little more adventure?
Wanted a little more adventure, but I said to go a little farther. A little more adventure, but I said to go a little far. I said to go a little.
All right. Did you catch the mother? She said, oh, whatever. All right. This in and of itself, as I begin to watch the video, says to me, it's probably pretty authentic. Usually when someone is lying or a family is in on some like master plot, they are hypersensitive about all of their movements. And it's unlikely that they're going to roll their eyes and say, whatever, when the kid that was supposedly lost in the woods, you know, if it was really a hoax, it's very unlikely you would get this behavior from the mother. Plus, just the still pictures, it's hard to read body language from still pictures, as you might imagine. And with that being said, the still pictures, you can see dimpling of the chin with some sadness as they welcome the girls back.
I just wanted a little more adventure, but I said
whatever.
To go a little farther.
On their own, the girls got lost
the
quickly
mother's
in the
exasperated,
cold and rain.
like,
I was scared. My sister cried the whole night, so I told her to think happy thoughts of our family, and I kept watch for us the night.
Fending for themselves in these tough and rugged redwoods.
I just wanted a little more adventure, but I said to go a little.
All right, I want to compare it to this family. Sorry, I'm not seeing it being a hoax with the 2 young girls in California. Maybe you saw something I didn't see, and maybe they'll do other interviews, and I'll get more information. If they do more interviews, maybe more will come out. In order to detect deception, we need a lot of footage or a lot of hotspots. Jussie Smollett, in a matter of a couple of minutes, I think there was over 50 hotspots in the blink of an eye with his. All right, remember this case over 5 years ago? We called him Balloon Boy. I'm not sure if you remember the Heene family. They had this hot air balloon and this spaceship looking thing, this hot air balloon spaceship thing. And little Falcon over here, I'm going to circle him, little Falcon went missing, and they thought he was up in this hot air balloon spaceship thing. Here is Falcon on his dad's lap. The parents served some jail time. They pled guilty to fraud. Well, I'm not sure if what they get. I'm not sure if they claimed guilty to fraud, but they claimed guilty and had to apologize for all the helpers that tried to look for their sons. And they said that it was a hoax. But Richard Heene, still to this day, any interview you see of him will tell you he did not do it. He was advised to say he was guilty, but he does videos online. I brought one with me to show you tonight.
The plight of Balloon Boy captured the imagination of millions of TV viewers. 6-year-old Falcon Heene was reported to have crawled into a UFO-shaped balloon his father was putting together in the family's backyard. Parents Richard and Mayumi were apparently frantic when the helium-filled aircraft broke free of its tether and floated away. An emergency call went out. The skies were cleared over much of the state of Colorado. Police and TV news camera crews chased the balloon for 50 miles, only to find it empty. Falcon was safe and well at home. He was said to have been hiding, but he got his parents into very hot water indeed when he made this admission in a live interview.
You guys said that we did this for a show.
His parents denied the affair was a hoax, but prosecutors wanted to press charges that could have seen them in prison for up to 6 years.
We have evidence at this point to indicate that it was a publicity stunt done with the hopes of marketing themselves or better market themselves for a reality television show at some point in the future.
In the latest twist, however, the Heenes are likely to escape jail when they plead guilty to lesser charges. The authorities offered them a plea bargain out of compassion to avoid breaking up the family and deporting Mrs. Heene back to her native Japan.
All right, I see some people weighing in here online on Facebook Live. So Scott, you remember the Balloon Boy was epic, right? So Scott's here, Michelle McDonald and Kimberly, and I'm so thrilled you're here, Regina and Miriam and Michelle and Paula. I'm so thrilled you guys are all here. Balloon Boy, all right, so here's the deal. You may remember, so when they came on this video with Wolf Blitzer, the young boy, Falcon, is asked by Wolf Blitzer, asks the father, Richard Heene, in his ear and says, hey, can you ask Falcon if he heard you calling his name? And the father goes, Falcon, they want to know, did you hear me calling your name? And Falcon said, yes. And the father said, you did? You did? And Falcon goes, uh-huh. And the father goes, well, why didn't you say anything? And Falcon said, because you said we did it for the show. Because you said we did it for the show. Well, hello, that one statement re-airs 100,000 times and we loop it. Even in the body language world, you know, what I used it as an example of the importance of asking lots of questions because you never know when something's going to slip out. The problem here, though, is that we don't get enough time to then find out what did Falcon think your question was. Years ago, my sister Carrie, my middle sister, and my mom were at the mall in Burlington, Massachusetts, and it was a Sunday evening. It was in the winter, so it gets dark pretty early. And my mother said to Carrie, "I'll meet you outside of Sears at 6 o'clock when the mall closes." Lo and behold, at 6 o'clock, where is Carrie? Outside of Sears in the parking lot outside of Sears. She was like 15 years old, maybe even 14. Where's my mother? Outside of Sears, inside the mall, two different places. So people can misinterpret what you say, that people can misinterpret your question. And little Falcon himself came out later and said, well, what I thought was the media had asked Falcon to show him how he crawled into this crawl space in the attic and how he hid it in this particular box. And so he said, I showed this Asian guy from the media. He wanted me to climb in the box. And Falcon said he did that earlier in the day, just before the interview with Wolf Blitzer. So when Wolf Blitzer asked the father, asked the son, you know, did you hear me calling your name? And he said, yes. Well, why didn't you say anything? And he said, because you said we did it for the show. The son later said, no, I was misunderstanding. These kids were exhausted. As a matter of fact, Falcon threw up on television, had to leave off the chair next to his dad and go throw up, which is another story for another time. So am I saying I believe Falcon that he misunderstood the question? No, I'm saying we need to dig a little deeper. So let's dig a little deeper, shall we? Is this helpful for you guys?
The plight of Balloon Boy captured the imagination.
Here it is, all right?
This is the dad.
On April 19th, a video called Balloon Boy, The Untold Story was uploaded to Internet Historian. It proposed that the Balloon Boy hoax of 2009 may have been a legitimate accident and no hoax at all. On May 11th, having seen the video, Richard Heene got in touch. He sent through several pieces of evidence to support his ongoing claim of innocence. The most compelling was a video that he made in 2010. This is Richard's side of the story.
This is awesome. This is a blog that's out there. This is a video blog, and I'm so mad I don't see that I cited it. So I'm going to cite it below so you guys will have it because it's really fascinating.
Before I get into the facts, I want to tell you one thing. All right. My attorney was David Lane.
Oh, he gets into politics. He gets into politics there. So what I wanted to show you, oh, crap. So I didn't, hold on. I'm going to have to go find this video for you guys because it is a must to see it. And I'm inserted celebrity lie detector 5. I inserted the wrong one. Look for do you see him? No, let me do Balloon Boy. Balloon. And parents admit the hoax. Oh, right here. This is the one I wanted you to watch. So here's the one where the parents admit it. Where is that?
The plight of Balloon Boy.
Oh, we already saw that one. We already saw that one. All right. This is the one I want you to look at. Oh, no. No, that's the same one. Oh, yeah, here. I want you to watch this part where he's talking about, which I was shocked to see this, about the kids. Richard Heene and his wife said, no, you're not going to interview our kids. And the police circumvented that.
To trial and had a good chance at an acquittal. This, however,
this is about the wife. This is a fascinating video.
But our attorneys told us that this was a huge deal. Interrogating the Heene kids.
This is what I want you to see.
Miami's attorney told the Laramie County Sheriff's Department in a letter that they will not interrogate our children because under the law, they cannot do that unless the parents say that they can. So the way they get around this is they make a false claim to DHS that our kids are somehow maybe abused. Then they send a sheriff down to write down the questions or ask the questions to the person at DHS. Then they walk out of a room, enter the room where the child is, and ask them interrogating questions.
Oh, you guys can't see anything?
How is that even legal?
All right, I'm seeing that you guys can't see anything. Why? It says that you can see my screen. Share desktop. All right, let me know if you can see it now. Let me know if you can see it now.
How can they do that? But our attorneys told us Mayumi could have possibly ended up being deported, and Richard could have proceeded
We don't
to
have time
trial
to look at that.
and had a
part.
good chance.
You can
I
see
never
it
heard
now?
a word of what was going on.
How about now?
But our
Can you see
attorneys
it?
told us
You can, okay.
that this was a huge deal.
Okay.
Interrogating the Heene kids.
Mayumi's attorney told the Laramie County Sheriff's Department in a letter that they will not interrogate our children because under the law, they cannot do that unless the parents say that they can. So the way they get around this is they make a false claim to DHS that our kids are somehow maybe abused. Then they send a sheriff down to write down the questions or ask the questions to the person at DHS. Then they walk out of a room, enter the room where the child is, and ask them interrogating questions. How is that even legal? How can they do that? So in this next clip, you'll see it.
Falcon, tell me about the balloon being for a TV show.
We didn't. We never wanted it to be a TV show.
Oh. Well, why was there a balloon?
I want you to watch the DHS person. Tell me she hasn't been trained. All right, so I talk about this a lot. I don't know if I've shared it here on Celebrity Lie Detector Live just yet or not. So palms out, when people are telling the truth, they're more apt to show you their palms out versus holding their palms in. This indicates they're likely holding something back. And when you want to elicit the truth from others, I teach this all the time in my keynotes, and I make people do it and they say, it feels so weird. I go, right? So when you are talking to someone, you're more apt to get the truth from people when you show them your palms. And so this is an over-the-top example that we're seeing here that I'll now include in my keynotes all the time with this DHS, therapist or person right here. You'll see this going like this. Listen to these questions though. It's fascinating to me.
We can hover over traffic.
And watch Falcon, listen to him.
Listen closely, and you're going to hear the deputy giving the questions to the woman interrogating.
Okay. Well, we were looking at this.
As a mother,
Where's the door? Where's the door to the garage?
Oh, it's down here. I just can't write it.
Did someone help you get into the attic?
No.
Huh.
I just looked everywhere to find a hiding place. I looked up. I found the attic, and I went up there.
How come you were looking everywhere to find a hiding place?
Because I'm scared when people yell at me, my dad yell at people playing their find us.
Okay.
all right, so there's a video clip. When this UFO thing was being blown up, it's somehow the tether broke loose, and Richard Heene is yelling at his wife. He even kicks like a box or a fence, and he's like, I told you to tether it. I told you. And it shows in the video seconds later, little Falcon was underneath the spaceship UFO thing. He was climbing underneath it, and the father yelled at Falcon on video. You could see this on family video, yelled at Falcon, Falcon, get out of there, get out of there. Falcon, get out of there. And then seconds later, this whole thing takes off. And one of the brothers, Falcon has two older brothers, and one of the brothers is the one that's on camera, is like, Dad. And he's like, not now, because all their equipment was in there and inside this UFO thing, not now. And he, like, if this is an act, then he acted like the biggest jerk on planet Earth. I think he probably was a little bit of a hothead, according to the wife swap lady who had to live with him for a while. So let's keep watching this. Incidentally, unacceptable. If I tell you there's a TED Talk out there about, I got to find it and I'm going to post it below, and that every mother and every father and every aunt and every uncle needs to watch 100%. And it talks about how our kids are screwed in this country, in the United States of America, because the police will lie. And I'm from, retired from law enforcement, but police will lie to our kids and say things like, your mom and dad said it's okay for you to talk to me, or only innocent people, only truthful people will talk. You know, only liars, people who are lying, who did something wrong, they don't want to talk. They want to call their moms and dads. All your friends, Brian and Steven, they all spoke to us. They all spoke, and they can say things to manipulate your kids. And then what they'll say to our kids is they'll say, do you want to waive your right to, and they'll do the whole Miranda rights. Really quick, do you want to waive your Miranda rights? The kids don't understand what that mumbo jumbo is. And so the kids say yes, or they say, oh, innocent people waive their Miranda rights. And so the kid goes, yeah, I waived my Miranda rights. And next thing you know, you got your kid in jail for something they didn't do, or if they did do it, they're not being represented in the way that an adult would be represented. So I got to find this TED Talk and I'll post it below in comments, because in my notes describing this video, I'll put it right in the notes because it can save your child's life. Let's keep watching this just a couple more minutes because we got to get to Elizabeth Holmes.
I think you said that you didn't like your dad yelling at you. That's why you went to the attic.
Yeah, he did yell at me.
What did he say when he yelled?
He didn't actually yell. It was just like kind of yelling like, get out, get out, get out, get out.
You probably get the hell out of there. Falcon, get out now. Come here.
Falcon, get out.
I mean, Falcon, come here now. What the hell are you doing? Get out of there. All right, guys, come on, man. You guys got to do this serious, all right?
He didn't do that.
What did he mean by get out, get out, get out?
Of the flying saucer.
Of the flying saucer.
I'm putting in the flying saucer.
Richard Heene and Mayumi Heene to cooperate in the investigation of possible child neglect or abuse involving the above-named children by producing the children for an interview with Larimer County Human Department of Services. They didn't ask them questions about safety. The entire questioning, 2.5 hours per kid, 7.5 hours, we were away from our kids. They interrogated the kids about the incident. It had nothing to do with it.
I'm tired. I'm gonna go back down.
I have a few more questions for you, okay?
So here's the conclusion of the DHS. I'm going to read this to you. According to the Department of Human Services caseworker, Jessica Link, the department is not involved in this matter. They have no recommendation and their assessment is closed. So they found nothing. My kid told the truth. They could have walked away from it all right then and there. No, they kept pressing. They kept coming after us. They're ruthless.
The vindictive sheriff's
Oh
department.
no, we're done on this. Hold on, we gotta get out of here. All right, I gotta get back to my PowerPoint. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Oh, I don't want to kill you out of Zoom. I'm gonna share here. Let's go back into PowerPoint. Unbelievable though, right? So I get it. You know, some people I see, you know, Diane said the dad is a tool. And Scott, you're saying kids are awesome. They are awesome, right? And Michelle's saying you hate the way they do that to the kids. Joanna, thanks for sharing your knowledge. Oh, you're welcome. You know, I got to tell you that slideshow, play from the current slide.
Here it is.
All right, so I got to tell you, this information is very interesting to me. I'm going to dig deeper on this case because this has been just brought to my attention today because I was looking into the two young girls in California. I believe them. I believe that was legit. And I got to tell you, before with that one statement, it's a reminder even for me, and I do this for a living, the importance of asking multiple questions and digging deeper. The best way to detect deception is what is called verifiable facts. The more verifiable facts you can get, the better. And if you are watching Little Falcon there, and then watch the video because they were going to do this little test run just to see it would go up in the air, you may change your mind because I am like 51% believing that it was not done on purpose and 49%, maybe it was still a hoax. So it's one of those, sometimes they're slam dunks, sometimes they're not. Let's get out of here and get to the fun stuff. You like my new logo and my new music? My name's Janine Driver. I'm the celebrity lie detector live every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock on Facebook Live. And then I put it on YouTube the next day, every Thursday. All right, who's next? Who do we have coming up? Oh boy, Elizabeth Holmes, the person we've all been waiting for. You've been writing to me for over a month now since I launched the show. Elizabeth Holmes, and why powerful liars are next to impossible to catch. Let's dive in.